Welcome back to the Ghetto Money Podcast, where we break the chains of poverty and unlock the secrets to financial freedom. Today, we're diving into a crucial topic, building credit from scratch. If you've ever wondered how to start building your credit when you have none, this episode is for you. We're joined by a special guest who has an inspiring story to share. Let's get started. I'm excited to introduce our guest host for today, Jasmine Rodriguez. Jasmine grew up in a low-income neighborhood and faced numerous financial challenges. Despite these obstacles, she managed to build a solid credit score from scratch and is here to share her journey and expertise with us. Welcome, Jasmine.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here and share my story. I know how daunting it can be to start building credit, especially when you feel like you're starting from nothing.
Let's start with your background, Jasmine. Can you tell us a bit about your upbringing and the financial challenges you faced?
Of course. I grew up in a neighborhood where financial literacy wasn't a priority. My parents worked hard, but we often lived paycheck to paycheck. When I turned 18, I had no idea what a credit score was or why it mattered. It wasn't until I tried to rent my first apartment and got denied due to a lack of credit history that I realized I needed to build my credit.
That's a common situation for many people. What was your first step in starting to build your credit?
The first thing I did was research. I read articles, watched videos, and talked to anyone who would give me advice. I learned that getting a secured credit card was a good starting point. With a secured credit card, you put down a deposit that serves as your credit limit. It's a way for lenders to trust you without taking on too much risk.
That's a great tip. Let's break down the steps you took to build your credit, starting with the secured credit card.
Here are the steps I followed. Get a secured credit card. I applied for a secured credit card with a $200 deposit. This card reported to all 3 major credit bureaus, which was crucial for building my credit history. Use the card responsibly. I made small purchases each month, like gas and groceries, and paid off the balance in full before the due date. This showed the credit bureaus that I could manage credit responsibly. Monitor your credit. I signed up for a free credit monitoring service to keep track of my progress. This helped me stay on top of any changes to my credit score and ensure that my efforts were paying off. Gradually increase your credit limit. After about 6 months of responsible use, I was able to increase my credit limit. This further improved my credit score as it showed I could handle more credit. Apply for a regular credit card. After a year, I applied for a regular credit card and was approved. By this point, I had built a decent credit history and score, which made it easier to get approved. Absolutely.
Those are some fantastic steps. What are some common pitfalls people should avoid when building credit?
One major pitfall is carrying a high balance on your credit card. Ideally, you should keep your credit utilization below 30%. Another is missing payments. Even one missed payment can significantly impact your credit score. Lastly, avoid applying for too many credit cards at once. Each application results in a hard inquiry, which can lower your score.
Great advice, Jasmine. What other tips do you have for our listeners who are just starting their credit building journey?
Start small and be patient. Building credit takes time, but with consistent, responsible use, you'll see progress. Also, educate yourself. The more you know about how credit works, the better equipped you'll be to manage it effectively. Lastly, don't be afraid to ask for help. Financial advisors and credit counseling services can provide valuable guidance.
Before we wrap up, can you share how your credit journey has impacted your life?
Building my credit has opened so many doors for me. I was able to rent an apartment, finance a car, and even get a mortgage for my first home. It's given me financial stability and peace of mind. I'm passionate about helping others achieve the same.
Thank you so much for sharing your story and insights, Jasmine. It's been incredibly inspiring and informative.
Thank you for having me. I hope my story helps others see that it's possible to build credit and achieve financial success, no matter where you start.
That's it for today's episode of the Ghetto Money Podcast. Remember, building credit from scratch is a journey that requires patience and discipline, but it's definitely achievable. If you found today's episode helpful, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends and family. Follow us on social media for more tips and updates. Let's break the cycle of poverty together and pave the way to a prosperous future. Until next time, I'm your host, and this is the Ghetto Money Podcast. Stay financially empowered.